Whoa, that was fast. We're live, everybody.
I'm not ready. No, I'm just kidding.
What is going on? Let me get this chat up, see who we got out there. Got Subaru Nerd Babes. He was in early. He was first one in. No Splatter G. George, he was out there. Jerry Lawrence. Joey, she's paint splattered. I'll leave that alone. I won't say anything. Chuck and Trucker, what's going on, Mike? Train Sonic's in the house. Everybody's popping in now. Good deal, good deal.
Yep, I just got the notification pop up on my screen too.
All right, cool. Yeah, Moose will be late as usual.
The Moose.
Oh, I keep hitting that wrong.
Dude, I thought I lost my drip tip last night. It broke, like literally actually broke. That's crazy. Yeah, that's all that's left. It was just like a little bit stuck in here.
Oh, wow. Oh, James Rivera's out there, vaping surveyor, yeah. Colby. What's going on, Colby?
Oh, Mike's out there.
Yeah, the touched. UTC now. Zippy's here. What's going on, Zip? Oh, she's refinishing a desk for her daughter. Oh, that's nothing wrong with that. School's going to be right around the corner, another month away. So it totally makes sense. So how's everyone's week been?
Ooh, good week for me, man. I got some good stuff in.
Yeah, you're showing a little bit before we went live.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with the drop solo. If you don't have like a single coil flavor banger kind of thing, probably worth getting. If you have the recurve,
how's it compared to the Nano?
Nano actually has a lot more air. Like people, because it's so small, people get deceived.
Yeah.
That Nano, you can open that up and you can get a fair amount of air. I love the Nano, but the honeycomb little holes, whether it's like embedded like that or in like in the drop, you have it in the side. You've got the little tiny holes. Kind of creates that slightly restricted, not big wide open. Hey, Zippy, and who else was in there? Joey, and Zippy. Oh, Alan Gorby. Yeah.
Yep,
so anyway, it kind of creates that restricted kind of airflow, which I prefer. I like to feel like I'm pulling against something, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I like the fact that he gives you two caps. I'm all about like these PET or whatever, Delrin or Altum, plastic. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's fucking plastic.
Yep, completely. I like it because I hate when it gets hot. I hate that. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think if you don't have one, check it out. It's worth a check out. And the other thing I picked up, which I probably shouldn't have, but I've always wanted one. So I had a clone Hadley. So I got the titanium.
The TI, the titanium.
Yep. Happy birthday to Mary Beth.
That's right. Yeah, your birthday's in a couple weeks. About 12 days. Or you're 16th, right?
Yep.
You're 2 weeks before
how'd you know that?
Because it comes up on my Facebook. Don't forget Mary Beth's birthday is coming up April 6th and August 16th. Because mine's 2 weeks after yours.
Yeah. Transonic popped in. Excellent. All right. What about you, Mr. Mophead? What's your week been like? You having a good week?
Yeah, my week's actually been pretty good. I worked, went on a date on Friday, Saturday, one of those days. Yeah, no, Friday. Yeah, my week's all fucked up.
Tell him what movie you took her to see. Go ahead. Tell him.
And saw Incredibles 2. When you really want to get some, you got to take them to go watch a kid's movie. That was awful. I know when I say that. We scratch that. We'll edit that out. No, Incredibles 2.
What's up, Nikki?
Like, seriously, that movie was freaking awesome, though. It was really good. I got the Drop Dead hopefully coming next week. I think it's supposed to ship out on the 25th, if I remember right. So we'll see how that thing is.
Cool. Yeah, I'm curious.
They came out with the Drop Solo and the Drop Dead like so close to each other.
Yeah, Brian talked about that, saying like he had no idea that was happening. Like
they showed up at his house the same day.
Yep.
Both of them, they showed up at his house the same day.
Yeah, 2 big boxes, with all the, one of every color or whatever, and I remember he was supposed to go, he was supposed to do Fresh from the Kitchen that night, and he called up or messaged Fresh, and he's like, "Oh yeah, dude." Showed him the pictures of the 2 boxes, like, I ain't got time.
Because I tried looking, there's only a couple reviews I saw for the Drop Dead.
Yeah.
There was like a couple people who did it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get, because you know me, I'm a Brian fanboy. I always have been. So I'm going to have to pick up the Drop Dead. Yeah, I had the drop on pre-order, and I think it's $29.99 at my Pro right now.
Yeah. Like Joey said, man, I'm still hooked on the recurve.
Yeah.
The thing is,
the recurve
I'm a dual coil person. Like I'm not usually big on single, but it's like all I use now. Since I got it.
Yep. That's why I said
the fucking drip tips though, I'm pissed. I need to find somewhere. If anybody knows where they sell like just the recurve drip tips, let me know. I lost both of mine.
Well, you could throw any 810 on there. Yeah,
but oh man, the recurve drip tips are like perfect. Like I just buy like 20 of those if I could.
Yep. Me too. I love them. I've got one. I took it off there and put it on here because I just love it. Just like
they're
the
awesome.
little.
They're so comfortable.
Is that the intake?
Oh, good. Yeah, that's the intake. Yep.
Yeah, I like that Solomon 2 that I got from Overdose.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I really like it. It's a little finicky wicking. You got to really keep it thin because it'll clog up real quick.
The intake's the same way.
Same way, right? Yeah.
Same way. Yep.
I mean, Alan Gorby's telling you, Mophead, that hit that juice. You know, Mike's site, he has actually tips and caps for recurves.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. Cool. Thanks, Alan. Good to know, man.
Hey, yeah, thanks, man. I'll write that down.
Yeah, Cincinnati King in the house. What's going on, brother?
What's up, Sin?
What's up, Chris? Yeah, I saw he was hanging out earlier on Ren's channel. She did some cool stuff today. I was kind of like in and out of that one while I was getting everything set up.
Yeah, she tried to do a remake of Pony on Acid. Is that what Grim Green's like? You know,
one of his
all-time favorite. Yeah, cool. Yeah. All right, so we got cookies today, folks. Cookie.
It's for Cookie.
That's right.
I have little kids, man. I watch a lot of Sesame Street.
Hell yeah.
It's for Cookie. Cookie
Yeah,
is
Sesame Street.
It's a timeless classic. I mean, what do you guys
Yeah, totally. Moose was like, yeah, we're going to do some Cookie Nookie. I'm like, where are you, Moose?
Well, he said do it all for the nookie.
That's what he said. Do the cookies for the nookies, baby. All right. So who wants to kind of go first? Anybody? Anybody?
I'll throw mine out there. I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
Here, he's kind of starting to piss me off now a little bit.
Moose, if you're listening, you're pissing off the Frank.
You're running late, dude. I understand a little tardiness, but we're 10 minutes in now. Come on, dude.
We left the Zoom room windows open for you to come running through in now any minute.
Exactly. All right. Let's see. Here we go. I actually put on all the flavors and on ELR, so I got all the flavors one up here. So I did. Someone say cookie. I mean, great. The thumbnail came out garbage, but it's not about the thumbnail. I'm not trying to get clickbaity. And what I did here was an orange cookie. I went really heavy on the cookie. I just basically almost every cookie I had in a drawer, I stuck in here. Threw a little bit of brown sugar to sweeten it up a little bit, and a little bit of biscuit, of course, to add to more fucking cookie. And went with the Vape Train Mandarin at 2% and Royal Orange at 1% from Flavor Art. And you get that it's not overpowering orange, but it's there. It's the first thing you taste. And then you're getting that mouthfeel with the cookie off the shake. I mean, in a few days, this will probably come out even better, as long as my sugar cookie isn't too old. That's why I went 5% with it, so it'll hold on some of it, because we know how quickly that fades. And the vanilla pudding, of course, just to give it a little bit more sweetness and to
he's like, because it tasted like shit at first, so threw in some vanilla pudding to make it good.
Exactly.
You always have to be worried. When you see Favora vanilla pudding or TFA Bavarian cream, you always have to wonder.
Stop.
Basically, what I did was I put some seat belts on it.
Yeah.
This way, if it crashes, it'll still live.
So let's talk a little bit about the cookies that are in there, guys.
Yeah.
So you had FA cookie, you had Cap sugar cookie, and you had Inawera cookie.
Well, shortbread, Wonder Flavor shortbread.
Oh yeah.
How's that Wonder Flavor? I don't think I have that one. How's that?
It tastes just like the little ones you get in the tin.
Oh yeah.
Just the plain Jane shortbread cookie that you buy the roll of.
The one your mom keeps her sewing kit in.
Yeah, exactly. Don't make fun. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't hate. Don't hate.
Yeah, but you could probably bump the steep time up from I put 1 as a shake and bake. That's what I'm doing it at right now because I just mixed it this morning. But yeah, you can probably 3 to 5 days. We'll really see where it's at. But I don't think it's not going to make it worse. That's for sure.
Yeah,
it turned out really good. I'm really proud of myself. It sounds like I'm coming out of my funk.
Yeah,
Sounds like we both are, Mophead.
Yeah. Well, I finally mixed up a recipe this week, so.
So let's go with the cap. Let's start with like the FA cookie. So compared to like cap, what do you think? Are they different? Are they similar? Like,
I just get more of a. I'm trying to have what's the best way to describe it. I guess it's just like a plain cookie, not necessarily an oatmeal cookie, just a plain, just.
To me, FA cookie reminds me of like a chocolate chip cookie without chocolate chips in it.
Yeah, it's more on the Italian side.
Like brown sugar. I mean, it's really similar to AP. I'm pretty sure it's mostly acetyl piercing, honestly. Yeah,
it is, but without the nutty. I mean, you get a little bit of like almost like a peanut butter cookie, a little bit from it. Just slightly. It's because basically it's biscotto. Yeah, which is
and then like if you don't want that like butteriness, you're gonna get from like Capella sugar cookie.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I kept the sugar. I put the sugar cookie and of course ran up to 5% because
Copel posted a Mix Live.
Yeah. Did he go live?
No, they're going live in 45 minutes.
All right. So FA cookie to me, it has a little more of the darker notes. So let's start with cap sugar cookie because I think everybody's probably really familiar with it. Like almost every cookie recipe ever made in history has cap sugar cookie, and cap sugar cookie is like a buttery, fluffy sort of cookie. Not a lot of crunch.
It's a staple, man. Like you have to have sugar cookie.
And
but
so
it's sugary, buttery. It's got texture to it. It's just like
if you're a big fan of just regular sugar cookies, you can single flavor bake that.
Oh yeah, mix that at like 6 to 8%, and just there you go, sugar cookie all day.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when you kind of use that as your base, which you'll see a lot of recipes that we're going to talk about today kind of did that, right? They kind of use cap sugar cookie, and then you kind of can move it in a couple of different directions, right? So you can add FA cookie to kind of support that butter, but also get some more of those cookie crisp, because I think FA cookie has a little more of the darker notes that you can kind of you can get for sure. I think if you add biscotti to it, you get more, or Inawera biscuit will do that for you too. But Inawera biscuit, at least when I used it, it's hard to find a percentage depending on what mix you're using it on. It's pretty finicky. Like it can either take over or get lost. And I can't quite figure out like where, hey Gareth, how are you doing, buddy? It can be a little finicky depending on what you're mixing it with. So like in creams, I found it to get kind of lost. And in fruits, it was pretty much present, and I didn't have to like try and jack up the percentages too much. And what else did you use in there, Frank? So you used FA cookie, Inawera,
which is the biscotti.
And so you used Inawera at what?
0.5% Inawera biscuit.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to add a real crunchiness to it, a little more texture, which I think is probably cool if that's what you're looking for in your mix.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Of course, you add a brown sugar just to give it a little bit of, a little more authenticity.
So I'm not really sure what the was it Sharp? Who is it? BT Sharp Bread cookie? No.
Oh, Wonder Flavors.
Wonder Flavors.
Wonder Flavors. Sorry. And you put that in there at 2% because you wanted more
cookie, and plus you know what the sugar cookie from Cap is going to do. You know it's going to fade. So just to try to keep something else in there. If I don't vape this whole 20 ml bottle, today, in two or 3 days, by the time it steeps, that sugar cookie is not going to be there anymore. So I put that the shortbread cookie in there to try to hold on to it some. At least maybe it'll acquire some of the properties.
Yeah. Does that shortbread cookie have any like texture to it, or is it pretty flat?
It's pretty bland. A little bit of sweetness to it. You actually get like a little bit of vanilla.
So I have real flavor sugar cookie, and it's got a really nice sugar cookie taste to it. Like it has the butter and the sugar and all that. It tastes just like a sugar cookie, but it's flat, like completely flat. Has like no texture to it at all.
Man, this should get a
Yeah.
So Gareth was asking if we've ever used Flavor West hazelnut with cap sugar cookie, and I can't say I personally have, but do you think there's something? Does it have a nice?
I think it would work.
I think it would work.
You'd have to boost up. You would have to add something else because Flavor West hazelnut kind of has that creaminess to it, and then like Frank said, like Capella sugar cookie does tend to like fade a little, and some of the texture will get lost after a good steep. So I would definitely like. Say it would good, but you would have to add like Innoware biscuit or flavor cookie, something just to like make sure that cookie holds up.
Exactly.
To that kind of creaminess, Yeah,
you need the sugar cookie needs crutches.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it was Cincinnati.
No, Chris was saying okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing unless you want anything else you want for that.
No, that's cool. So just to get back, I think you made a good point that I just want to bring out. Cap sugar cookie does sort of change, I think. Have you noticed that, Mophead, that it kind of fades or?
Yeah, I usually throw something in there to kind of just help it out, like hold that texture.
Yep. Exactly.
I like Chris's mix there. 2% Flavor West hazelnut, 6 on the sugar cookie, and 4 VBIC. As long as you not want to get to pepper note, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
On Sub Vapes, Chessie's out there. KBN's out there. Happy belated birthday once again to KBN. I think it was sometime last week.
Yeah, I saw his birthday popped up. Hey, Chessie,
hey. Yeah, I could see that adding the texture and helping it to hold up too. The 2% Flavor West hazelnut would be helpful. But anyway, just along those same lines, looking at adding FA cookie or some Plavora biscotti would help to add more texture and help it to hold up a little bit longer if that's kind of along the lines you're going. But yeah.
Yeah, if Chris is saying that's Koppel's recipe for that makes sense. I mean, that's
there you go. Yeah.
That's definitely in his wheelhouse. That's his mixing style right there.
All right. Let me see if I can go find mine.
You use sugar cookie a lot. The shelf life isn't good. Exactly. That's why it doesn't hurt to use it at 5, 6, 8% because you're not. By the time you get done with that 10 ml bottle, it's going to be trash at the end.
All right, I'm going to pop up my mix here. So I did not necessarily use what's traditional kind of cookie flavors. I kind of went a little bit left of center. I was going after, if anyone's Italian, they know that the pizzelle, it's kind of like a wafer cookie almost. And they usually are done in anise with anise flavors, but sometimes you'll see some with lemon, you'll see some with hazelnut, you'll see kind of a variety. And they're usually done around the holidays. And that was kind of what I was going after. In my sort of like that kind of texture of the cookie is kind of what I was going after. And Folk Art was nice enough to kind of prompt me with Wonder Flavor sugar mousse. Did he come in? Is he here? Where is he? There he is. The moose. The moose is on eating his lunch. Way to go, Moose. Did you bring us any? Did you bring any for us, dude?
No, but don't let me distract you from this recipe. So continue.
We're not all hungry, so we're pretty distracted.
Yeah, too late. Sorry, bro. Anyway, so I was using Sugar Cone by Wonder Flavors, which is really kind of a cool sort of like dark, almost molasses brown sugar kind of cookie. It's very much like a dark waffle cone that you put ice cream in. I mean, it's very much like that. I will give Wonder Flavors credit for that because I think it's awesome. So that, along with the crispy wafer, kind of creates that the texture that I was looking for. Now, I do not know if these flavors will fade or how they will change. I mixed it up Wednesday, so we'll see. I'm kind of hoping the texture and the flavors kind of stay prominent, but we'll see. Devon Cream is another flavor I hadn't really played a lot with. So this week I kind of tested it last week and decided to use it. It is a heavy, creamy mouthfeel with a chocolate back note for real.
Oh, wow.
You get chocolate. I don't care You get it.
So it's definitely different than like the cupcake world Devin cream.
There's no chocolate in that one?
I don't get chocolate out of the cupcake world. I get like a darker note type. I don't know.
So as if you wanted to, you could probably sub that if you don't have that with like vanilla swirl.
No, they're very different. They're very different, I think, Frank. Yeah. This has a definite cream, like a definite like thick, creamy density to it that I don't get out of, and you don't get a strong vanilla where vanilla swirl you get a vanilla. You know, you get EPA's
frosting.
Vanilla. What was that?
It's that frosting.
Yeah,
frosting with the Devon cream is what's giving you like that like wall of cream.
Yes, exactly. You get it like a buttercream note. Absolutely, that's what I get. It's definitely there.
Almost like a buttercream frosting.
Yeah. And so I added it for that sort of chocolate back note, which I didn't want chocolate, but I wanted a subtle kind of chocolate back note, along with the hazelnut coffee and the hazelnut cream definitely give you the impression of kind of a coffee. A chocolate definite chocolate note. So it's kind of like a hazelnut chocolate cream filling, which is really cool. And the sugar powder just to kind of give it that impression of that dry, kind of sweet dryness that you get in the waffle cookies, wafer cookies. So yeah, mine's kind of left to center, not a traditional kind of cookie thing, but a cookie nonetheless.
It sounds like it all played pretty nice with that little bit of because I'm telling you get a coffee note right from that hazelnut coffee. I've never.
It's definitely there. Yeah.
So I imagine that like kind of chocolate note from the Devon cream would play pretty nice with that coffee note.
Yeah, that worked really well. Oh, Addie Tooney walked in. Hey, Addie. How's it going, buddy?
I don't have my Tooney Life shirt on today.
I like everything about it except that crispy wafer. That concentrate pisses me off.
Why don't you like it, Moose?
I don't know what it is, but it's not a crispy wafer.
Yeah.
it's like corn and sugar in a bottle, and like not the good kind of corn. I don't know. It's really off.
It's odd. I don't disagree.
It doesn't steep out well. Like whatever is in there that's making it off just kind of intensifies even more in a steep, and I don't know. You lose that whatever crispy wafer part about it is like just gone.
Yeah, that's the one flavor I put in my sub notes. Like if you're gonna sub, like take that out. That would be the thing that I'd probably take out.
It's hard to work with too, because I mean, if you think about what a crispy wafer is, that is such a subtle flavor that anything in the world could just shit right all over it.
Yeah. Sub Vapes, I'm sorry. What your question is? What was the combo percent of cap sugar cookie and shortbread cookie for what? I'm not following.
I think it might have been on my recipe. It was 5 and 2.
Yeah. So he did 5% cap sugar cookie and 2% Wonder Flavors shortbread. Yeah. Anyway.
You like those shortbread cookies?
Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah, it's got a little sucralose in it. But other than that, I kind of like it. It's like, to me, it tastes like sugar cookies and milk all by itself. Like that's what the flavor of it reminds me most of.
You got Black Cat White Face out there, Scott. What's going on, brother? The real MVP Shindo out there in the house.
Wonder Flavors. Yeah, I think Wonder Flavors. I think they have sweetener in a lot of their flavors. At least that's my impression.
Yeah, there's a few of them in there that they really put it in there too. It's like in some of them, it's really noticeable. You got to be careful working them into your recipes that you might be using sweetener with, because you can run into commercial. Here we go again.
What's up, brother?
Hey, Ian. Nice to see you, buddy.
Yeah, your internet's a little wonky there, Moose.
Oh, that's a change. That's different.
All right.
Yeah, I'll post a link to this recipe.
Who's next?
I got one.
I got
one. First time in a while. I actually mixed up a recipe this week. So here's mine, cranstachio cookie. So obviously I went cranberry pistachio cookie. So I wanted pistachio, but I didn't want the pistachio to end up coming out too heavy, and I didn't want the whole cookie to get too nutty. So I just used TFA pistachio at 4%, which is like, and it's kind of more of a like candy artificial pistachio.
Yeah, the only pistachio I have is the Flavor.
I don't use Flavor. I have Flavor. Flavor pistachio is more like nutty and realistic, but TFA is kind of just like a good. You want that like artificial like pistachio, like cheap pistachio ice cream or something, you know. And then the cranberry. So I went Flavor cranberry, and then I added a little dragon fruit and lemon just to kind of boost up those tartar notes and kind of bring out that fruitiness. And then Capella sugar cookie because Capella sugar cookie.
Because every cookie recipe starts
every recipe ever
made in the universe of DIY.
Yeah, and then 1% Anywhere biscuit just to kind of boost up that sugar cookie, get those like buttery notes out there. And yeah, it didn't turn out too bad. Actually, I think I'll post this one later.
It looks really good, actually. I really like the idea of dragon fruit in there to kind of take those flavors and get them all to be nicey with each other.
Yeah, it just kind of boosts up that fruit a little bit. So it's kind of nice. Like I'd say like nothing like sticks out too. I kind of just want everything to blend nicely together. I didn't want anything to be too heavy.
I want everybody to play together. So let's talk a little bit about like biscuit, like flavors that are biscuit flavors, because like almost every company has a biscuit. And they're kind of different, right? So, like, Inaware biscuit, There's
a lot of different styles of biscuits out there, though. That's the...
Yes, exactly. Exactly, Moose. So for the new person who's like, oh, I want like a biscuit cookie, like a tea biscuit cookie. Like, what would you say would be like your ideal like tea biscuit cookie?
Oh, shoot. What was that? I'm trying to think which one I saw that was close to a tea biscuit cookie, because I'm actually looking for an authentic Tim Hortons tea biscuit. Like maybe either a little bit of cheese, a little bit of raisin.
I like Jungle Flavors biscuit. That's like my favorite. Like for biscuit, that's the one that I want. Moose agrees. Right. the moose agrees.
Jungle Flavors biscuit is the real MVP on a lot of things because it can be bended beyond just a biscuit. And I think hands down, we know we can't really trust Inaware, so that Inaware, am I losing it again?
No, I saw
you're good.
Okay, good. You started laughing every time I see you laughing.
Jungle Flavors biscuit master race.
Every time I see you guys laughing when I'm talking, I'm like, oh, here I go.
No, you're fine.
But my three favorite is Jungle Flavors biscuit. I've kind of been liking Perillium's cookie for some odd reason, and I don't like any of Perillium's stuff because I want to go to a separate company just to get one flavor. And then of course Flavor Arts cookie in certain situations.
Agreed.
Jungle Flavors biscuit, I feel like it's one, the Germans did it, so they did it right the first time. And it's not as dry or nuancy as the other ones is. Like Jungle Flavors biscuit, it's got a little moisture to it, which is nice. And it's got a not so like volatile butter note in it, because I get that from Inawares and Flavor Arts. Like the butter in it, it's fine, but sometimes it doesn't play well with other things, and it can be kind of annoying. It's like too much butter.
Yeah, sometimes that's not what you're after. You're not after like a butter-based cookie. You're after something else. You know. So, what would you say if you were looking for like a true biscotti, like a real Italian, old school, twice baked biscotti? What would that's right. That's right, my pet. What would you recommend for that kind of style cookie?
Flavor Arts almond and Flavor Arts cookie.
Yep. That is completely what I would do too. What about like Flavora's cookie and biscuit?
I haven't tried Flavora's yet, but I've been meaning to.
Yeah, so I've tried their cookie, and it's sort of like I don't know what it is. I think it's sort of like their cookie dough mix, kind of like without the chocolate chips. It's sort of like you took all the flavors together and you didn't really bake it yet, maybe. Like that's kind of like what I get out of it. I'd be curious what.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, but it's not in a good way like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's got its things to piss you off.
It's good. I think there's a place for it and you can use it. I haven't quite figured that out yet. Like that's just sort of like where I'm at with it. I'm like not quite sure what to do with it yet. But then there will be a day when I will find how to use that flavor. Anyway.
Yeah, Shindo says Flavor's cookie's kind of sandy. I guess kind of a drier note.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's like that grittiness, that's that texture, but it's not cooked texture. It's kind of weird. I haven't quite figured it out yet. Maybe like for the topping of something, like you want a crumble topping or something, maybe. I don't know. I haven't quite figured it out yet. So Moose. Oh, he's talking to his friends there. You got a recipe or are you just going to talk us through one? Moose.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
You got a recipe you want to share, or are you gonna?
I do not. I was too busy planting 6 trees this week, and my alternator caught on fire.
Whoa!
Oh, that sucks.
That's no joke.
In a gas station. So me playing with fire all the time, I'm like, yeah. This was gonna look great on my record.
Oh my god! Were you able to get it fixed?
Yeah, we put. I don't know what happened, but the battery light and the brake light came on for no reason. And I'm like, well, that's weird. Those are on 2 separate sensors.
Mm-hmm.
And we drove it. I drove my girlfriend to work and then came back and they were still on. So I get to the gas station and see a little bit of smoke coming out of the hood. I go to pop it and it's doing like a little grinder spark out of the alternator. And I'm like, that's not supposed to be doing that. So I shut the car off and walk away for a second. And I call my friend and I'm like, hey, what do you think this is like causing this? What can I do to stop it? And I like, all right, as I'm on the phone with him, I look over at the hood again and there's like at least like a good inch or 2 flame coming out of the alternator.
No shit.
Oh. I'm like, so I blew on it. I'm like, and I'm like, well, 2 volts didn't do it. Nope. So I started getting a little worried, and I gave it, I really blew on it, and it put it out. I was like, oh, thank God. And of course, I'm right next to a gas pump. No one else saw this happening. And so I start the car again. I pull it away from a gas pump and to the back of Stewart's, and I just leave it there. My friend closes down his vape shop to come help me because I'm like $50 short on an alternator. He comes and he helps me out, and he puts it in for us and everything, and there we go. So we did this all at 9:00 at night.
You know what though? Considering like all the issues, like your solution was a pretty rapid and effective solution. Yeah. Like you kind of
just get that piece of shit out of there.
Yep. So you may not have a recipe, Moose, but I have one of your recipes I think I want to talk about because I liked what you did in it, and I think it's worth. Where the hell is it?
Oh, we could talk about Haven any day if that's what we're talking about.
No, but you want to talk about that?
We can. Because I love that recipe.
No, yeah, I know, but I liked the real lemon square. You want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I can pull it up for you. I can pull it up.
Yeah.
Let me screen share it. I think
that's a good example of the power of Jungle Flavors biscuit.
Yep,
there.
That's why I liked it. That's why I picked it. Yeah.
So we have Jungle Flavors biscuit in full force at 3%, and that is your entirety of the lemon square plus the sugar cookie. That those two just give you a pretty dry pastry based kind of cookie texture in there, and then you have your plethora of lemons. You can sub the Flavor West for Capella's any day. Honestly, I've been meaning to do that because I don't like the sucralose that's in Flavor West.
You're talking about the lemon meringue pie, you mean? The Flavor West?
Yeah. Flavor West lemon meringue pie. You can sub that for Capella's. Yeah. And honestly, it's probably a lot better.
Yeah. Yep.
I tried it in one bottle, and I've just been meaning to change it around. I haven't done that. So with lemon squares, you know, they don't really have much cream. It's more of a lemon curd or a buttery lemon sauce of some sort in there.
Yep.
There's not too much that can really do that too well, other than just adding butter to lemon and just rolling with that.
Yep.
But I wanted to kind of smooth this out a little bit because just the lemon and those cookies, it could be a bit harsh on you. So I have the meringue in there to bridge the two together, help the butter kind of stop from being so present. Meringue kind of calms the butter down a bit. Mm-hmm. And I think Bavarian cream's in there, right? It's my recipe, of course.
No, there's no. Let me see. Hang on. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, it is. No.
Of course it's there. It's my recipe.
Of course.
So yeah, and that 2% Bavarian cream is just because I like it, and I feel like it plays excellent with cookies and lemons. So
I told you, Frank.
The overuse of TPA Bavarian cream. You could, of course, to make Daytime Frank and Mop happy, you can sub it out and move on with your life.
Oh, I love Bavarian cream, but
flavor of vanilla pudding.
You hate it.
We were joking because Frank used vanilla pudding in his, and I said Fulvora vanilla pudding and TFA Bavarian cream are what you put in to hide how shitty your recipe is.
To be honest, TPA, I saw some people using TPA Bavarian cream and actually all three of them, TPA Bavarian cream, vanilla swirl, and TPA vanilla custard, all in one recipe. And I'm like, you do realize that you are using the same concentrate, just in different contents of vanilla and egg, maybe. That's what you're doing right there. Using the same concentrate, just 3 different vanilla or contents of vanilla. And
exactly.
Research a little bit more.
Cool. I just liked it because I think that's a nice way to kind of create like a pastry base, kind of like like a thicker, kind of more notable base. When I liked that use there, so that's kind of why I want to show.
That recipe is a good reason to just get Jungle Flavors biscuit and be happy.
and be happy. And be happy.
Here, I'm going to go back to an old recipe. I got to pull it up here from the very first Mixin show we actually did together before we even started mixing in the kitchen.
Oh, cool.
When we were doing the Samoas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool. Yeah, show that one. That's a good one. Another one. Go ahead.
Did you already do Tammy?
No, I haven't. I was just going
to
get
pull hers up while I'm hunting this one.
Yeah, go ahead. I got it.
That honestly looks pretty good.
Yeah,
like,
I agree. Here, I got it.
That was kind of up my alley when I was looking at it. I was like, honey and cream and a little bit of cookie. Yeah.
Here, want me to I got it. Do you want me to show it or you want to go, Frank?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Show Tammy's.
Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So this is hers, Cookie Chow.
Cookie Chow.
Cookie Chow. So she uses this mom and pop vapor kind of one-shot flavor called Caterpillar Chow. And the description on this thing is so bizarre. They call it like a sweet, savory dessert after dinner. It's like anything you could ever want in a vape, apparently. So, and when I asked Tammy was like, yeah, it's pretty much like that. But the closest she would describe it to is sort of like a cookie, Rice Krispie kind of cookie kind of treat is kind of how she described it. So, but anyway, the Wonder Flavors caramel Rice Krispie treats at 2%. She uses FA cookie at 1, Holy Grail RY 4 at 3, VT honeycomb, and then of course Cap vanilla whipped cream on top. So. And this is what like her all day, like she goes through liters and liters of this. This is her like all day favorite vape of all time when you talk. Wow. So kind of cool. The problem is you can't get that Caterpillar Chow except for anywhere out. Like I think Chef's has it. And then there's a place, actually Mom and Pop Vapor is actually US based somewhere, but it's not expensive. It's like for 10 ml, I think it's like $8.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's expensive. But it's actually cheaper to get it at Chef's. So if you're ordering from Chef's, throw it in there and give it a try. But yeah, so it looked really good. Yeah, okay. The other thing I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about is what was it? Where is it? Oh, DJ Mills Oreo pudding cookie thing, which I think looked pretty cool, which was Jungle Flavor's cookie, not Jungle Flavor's biscuit, which tends to be I think a darker, like more of a darker kind of bakery note. So I could see it being used like in what do they call it? A strudel waffle?
Yeah, no, strip waffle. Yeah, strip waffle.
Yeah, let me share this. So this was a pretty popular mix too. And so once again, you see the cap sugar cookie being used with something else. And in this case, it was used with graham cracker clear and Jungle Flavor's cookie at 2%. To kind of help bridge the gap between, I think, the cap sugar cookie and the graham cracker. I think they kind of worked there in that case. And you've got, butter, as Moose had put in here, so you get a little butter and the Lorraine's cream cheese icing, which I think is pretty cool. And holy vanilla, like who doesn't like that? Oh, and look, no surprise, vanilla pudding.
At 4%.
Yeah, I think this is more of a pudding-based recipe than not, than.
Yeah. I think I had it wrong. It was Jungle Flavor's cookie, not Perillium.
Yeah, you said Jungle.
DJ is the one that turned me on to Jungle Flavor. Not through this recipe, but me and him were talking about cookies a long time ago. And he told me about that.
And then another recipe that I liked that was kind of interesting is come on, where is it? Oh, yeah. And we'll pop this up. Because another recipe that uses FA cookie, which I really kind of like the application here because it's kind of different than what you would necessarily think. It's Shindo's recipe, the pink.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And so this was he started it as a cherry blossom macaroon, turned into something else, he says. The original mix was a bit lighter in flavor, but I ended up liking certain parts of this vape. And so I just think it's a really, and I have this, and I've got the one shot, and I really enjoy this a lot. So I just thought I'd put this out here for people to kind of see if you wanted to mix it up and see what you thought. So he's got the FA cookie and the almond kind of together there.
Nice.
And I love cherry blossom, so I was pretty excited to see that with the cap hibiscus and the little meringue. It's just really a very well-balanced, enjoyable vape. I don't know how to describe it, so I can't tell you exactly what it tastes like. It's sort of interesting. So I think the Peak is a cool name. But it's really good. I just think the application here is really kind of spot on and balanced. So yeah, well done, Shindo.
Yeah, honestly, I wish TPA would make like a jasmine, because seeing that, like, a lot of people can get turned away from those floral ones, especially the ones from TPA, but they do them really well. And if anyone knows perfumes and stuff, it's them. That's what they were doing before flavors. So I always like their honeysuckle is really good, and the cherry blossom, just like we discussed, is really good too.
Yep, I agree with you. I would love to see them do that. So Joey says she used the caramel rice crispy treats today. What did you make, Joey? Did you make something good?
Yeah, Subvapes has a question out there in chat.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed.
Flavora cookie dough.
I
haven't used it.
Yeah, I've used it. In my opinion, just give up on it and go get Flavora cake batter. And that, to me, Flavora cake batter is some much better cookie dough. I've mixed them together too. Like
you can use them together.
Yeah, Flavora cake batter and Flavora cookie dough. Because to me, Flavora cake batter is more of a cookie dough, But then Flavora cookie dough kind of has that like little bit of like chocolate chip taste to it. So if you want like chocolate chip cake, cookie dough, like those two together, pretty much.
To me, they're both in a sense cookie doughs. Cupcake batter being a brighter, buttery one.
Yeah.
Like you added more sugar and more butter, and then the cookie dough being like dark, using like brown sugar and obviously like chocolate or like molasses or something to sweeten it up.
Agreed.
Bring it down, like, darker tasting, and it'll look darker obviously when you cook it.
Yeah,
but if you want a good usage of Flavora's cookie dough, you could pull up Haven. That's a good recipe. No custard concentrates.
Yeah, another question. Jungle Flavors Cookie version 2.
Find it.
Didn't know they had.
Jungle Flavors does version 2?
Stop it, Jungle Flavors. You did it right the first time.
Yeah.
They're a German company.
They're dapping it out.
Just let us out of here.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
What's going on, Robert Jardine?
Old version done right the first time.
Okay, so let's pull up Moose's Haven since he mentioned it now 3 times.
Shameless plugging it.
So I'll gladly post it because it looks delicious. So I gotta give him props. I hate it, but I gotta. It looks,
not my fault.
Yeah, whatever.
Don't hit the player, hit the game.
Yeah, man.
Oh, there it is. TFA Bavarian cream.
There it is.
Pudding. Vanilla pudding. Come on, man.
Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is.
For our custard, it's the Bavarian cream, the Flavora cream, the meringue, and the shisha vanilla, as well as the vanilla ice cream and the vanilla pudding.
Oh, wow.
Man, dude, this is like...
It takes a bit of work to make a custard without using a custard concentrate, let me tell you.
A little bit of creme brulee in there, give it a little bit of a maple flavor.
There's probably like 5 people looking at this and like, you could have just used Capella's vanilla custard at 4%. Yeah.
At 6%.
But if you're me and you hate that shit, and well, you don't hate it, but it's just, we're tired of it. We get it. It's like 2018 now. Let's get over Capella's vanilla custard.
Exactly.
So, and for the cookie dough, obviously it's Flavora's cookie dough with the Flavor West hazelnut is what's giving you like just like a cookie dough layer in there. It's not, entirely the best cookie dough in the world and just gonna, hit that spot of cookie dough, but it's in there. And then the creme brulee at the end is Innoware's creme brulee.
So the Innoware's creme brulee is the one that you get more of the top than you get the custard, or is it the other way around?
It's more of the top. It's got a little bit of cream note in it, but it's more of, I think it does the layer of the burnt sugar really well.
Yeah.
So
I think so too.
So, and like a little bit about like custards and stuff, I wasn't going for something that Capella vanilla custard is, because that's like straight up vanilla custard pudding and stuff. And if you think about other custards out there, there's like the very Americanized custard that leans, it's pretty much ice cream. It's not, it's like, it's the minute amount of egg and sugar and stuff. So that's what I was going for, was more of an ice cream style custard.
And so the last recipe I just kind of wanted to share is a pretty, now it's going to run it like really slow. Well, anyway, it was a IDT10 snickerdoodle recipe that I thought was pretty simple and something, kind of nice for a beginner mixer maybe to think about. So talking about that along those lines, like if you said, like, what kind of a new mixer, what cookie flavors would you recommend they go out and get?
Well, of course, cap sugar cookie.
Jungle flavor biscuit.
Yeah, jungle flavor biscuit. If they don't want to go getting jungle flavors, they can still get Inaware biscuit. I don't think they're going. That one name may not change anytime soon, but you never know because they are satanic like that. Let's see what other cookies.
I mean, I think if you get those two, you have enough to kind of get either, a wet, sort of fluffy, soft, buttery cookie, but you can also use the jungle flavors to kind of move it, and you can add like a little bit of hazelnut to it to kind of give it a little more extra crunch if you want. I don't know that you need to buy more than that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know that the other flavors are going to necessarily give you a whole lot more.
Maybe FA cookie if you want a little crunch.
Yeah, maybe. So here is ID10T's recipe, which was a snickerdoodle, which I happen to be I love snickerdoodles, but it's a nice simple recipe. If someone bought all of these flavors, they would have some basic good core flavors to work with. Of course, Cap cinnamon Danish swirl is being used, right, for that snickerdoodle kind of flavor. And the marshmallow helps because I do find this, like the cinnamon and cinnamon Danish roll, I can find a little off-putting and a little dominant. And so the TPA marshmallow helps kind of mellow that out a little bit. And then, of course, you got Cap Sugar Cookie at 7%. And oh, look, Cap Custard at 4%, right? But for a beginner, these are all solid flavors for you to have. This is probably a very solid, recipe, easy to do, and probably a good cookie recipe to start with. So, yeah.
And if you don't want that 7-day steep time, you change out the vanilla custard and you do the flavor bend. You do the liquid barn with the flavor.
Yep.
And a little bit of biscuit.
Yep, exactly.
Or vanilla swirl.
Or vanilla swirl. Yeah.
Vanilla swirl.
I'd probably go Flavora vanilla pudding, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But, All right, so we're coming up on the end of the time here, guys.
Yeah, we've got a few minutes. We've got 8-9 minutes, really.
All right, 8 or 9 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me pull up this. Bring this recipe.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Frank. Yeah, that was a good recipe too.
All right, go here. Let's see. Share. Yeah, this one I had a whole lot going on there, a bunch of lower percentages. Basically, is the Samoa cookie. You get that chocolate. Chocolate base with with the shortbread cookie and with some caramel and toasted coconut for people that don't know what the Girl Scout cookie tastes like. But yeah, wear a biscuit. Just give a little bit more. Get to start it off with your cookie base and your brown sugar. Just give a little sweetness, a little bit of butter. The only butter I had at the time when I made this was the TPA butter. When you easily use golden butter now, because you don't get that popcorn butter as much. But I don't really get that a whole lot with the TPA butter.
I don't either.
Depends on how high you run it, I guess. Which butter you're not going to run high to begin with. I love caramel candy. I still think it's one of the best caramels out there. The coconut extra, nowadays, you could probably sub that out for a different coconut if you wanted to. But I think in this application, it worked out nice. The FA cookie, obviously, we talked about that earlier. For the chocolate, I went with the double chocolate clear, 2%, a little bit of Madagascar in there. I just add a little bit more of a vanilla note and make it a little bit creamier. A little bit of saline, just at the time, saline was still a thing to use. Now I probably wouldn't use it, but you could. It's probably pretty pointless. Shortbread cookie again at 2%, and then the toasted marshmallow, just to balance, just to round it all out, just to make that toasted coconut. Or you could use, I think it's Perillum that makes the toasted coconut, or Wonder Flavors may have one now.
They have the toasted coconut cheesecake Perillum, but VTA has a desiccated coconut that sort of gives you that coconut shred kind of texture to it. Yeah, that's actually really good. If you're looking for that, that's a pretty much spot on.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
I feel like this recipe is screaming for butterscotch, and you could eliminate having to use the brown sugar and the caramel candy.
Yeah, you can get away with that now.
You use Flavor West butterscotch would do it, right? I mean, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, or like 1% or 0.5 of Flavor Arts, or just if you want to get real butterscotchy and serious on it, just a drop or two of Flavora's butterscotch, because that shit is, ooh. butterscotch.
Yeah, that's potent.
It's real potent, but I used to use it in that Haven recipe that we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it in there, but like when I'm vaping it, I don't always want the heavy butterscotch note because it's there. Like it tastes really good, but you kind of get sick of it after a while. But for this, seeing as Samoas have that like caramel butterscotchy drizzle wrapped around or a swirl that's on the top there.
Exactly.
Or it's encaked in the whole cookie too. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I feel like would emulate it. It's got a little bit of a candy taste to it anyway.
So you think Flavora butterscotch in that case would do it?
Yeah, this way you can minimize the amount of things you're using to just one thing.
Yeah, so take out what the TPA brown sugar you said and the
caramel candy. Maybe the butter too, because the butterscotch, I won't say it does what TPAs or any of the other butters do, but it has like this wall of butter note in it. Like it's got a buttery note to it.
Okay. So what do you think? Like
you're going to be more reminded of caramel.
0.5% of flavor of butterscotch, and you can wipe out this 3% of flavorings right here.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And that'll lower you down even more. Your flavor total.
You're talking taking it down to like 9% total flavors.
Yeah. I've been trying to and I've never really cared about a target, but I've been sticking to 13 and no more.
I just
it doesn't matter. It all depends on the profile. I mean, it you can achieve a lot with little, or you can achieve a lot with more. It all varies.
Oh, Sub Vapes, I just saw what he did here. He just put this together. What could we do to make it better? Hazelnut cookie at 1%, cookie dough flavor at 2, hazelnut flavor west at 2, Wonder flavor shortbread cookie at 5. That's going to be too high because that stuff is really concentrated. I'd knock that back down to 2 where I've been using it. Sugar cookie at 4 and Caps VBI. Oh no, I'm reading this. Oh, never mind. I'm reading this wrong. My bad. 1% flavor cookie dough, 2% hazelnut. I'm reading it. I was reading it wrong. 2% flavor.
Oh, hazelnut cookies though.
That's the name of the recipe. Yeah, that's what threw me off too. Because then I get to the end, I'm like, wait a minute, okay. All right, now it makes sense. Now it totally makes sense. Yeah, hell, that's.
Yeah, I think that looks really good, actually. I think that looks really good.
There ain't nothing you need to do with that.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, just run it. That looks really good. Socrates showed up at the last minute.
Vroom.
Yeah. Sunday night.
He's got the solo too.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah.
And you're liking that Bastium, you said, right?
Yeah. If you've got $60 and you want a dual battery squonker, it's good. Yep, definitely.
That's all it is $60.
I think something like that, right around there.
Because they want like 90 for the Rage, right? 90 to 100 for the Rage squonk, and I heard this one's better.
The Rage supposedly does temp control. I don't do temp control, so I couldn't tell you. They're just sort of different, that thing is like a tank. Like it is just built like a brick house.
I like how it's solid and everything, and the squonk has its own compartment, like the bottle. It's all solid. It doesn't.
The Rage. The Rage.
No, the Bastium. It doesn't feel or look like it's cheap.
No.
Well, thanks, Sub.
Because you get a lot of squonk boxes out there. They're all made with the resin panels and stuff, or just the plastic hard panel. And they're good and they're solid, but they feel cheap. Like they feel like they're gonna fall apart in your hand. Some of them.
Well, that's because they do usually fall apart in your hand.
Yeah, they literally do.
I love this. I think this was brilliant. I think this is like a nice design for the cartridge for the.
Yeah, I love that because it's not going to leak and screw up your batteries.
And you can add, a variety. You're not set into this bottle. I can add.
Yeah, you're not married to that bottle.
Right. So with the Rage, you have to use his bottles. Now he's got a nice kind of cartridge insert thing too, but I'm locked into his bottles for the Rage. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, man. It's like nothing real overly fancy, but just well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, $60 for a squonk, good deal. if you can get it, you know, find it, get it. It's worth it.
All right.
Joey said rage will pull your pants down if you put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's right. She's 100. Well, this probably would too, Joey. I think.
Yeah, it looks pretty heavy.
It's not lightweight. It's got some heft to it. But yeah, that rage, man, you could kill a human being with that thing, I think.
Yeah. If anybody watched Fresh's Friday night show, we had Jen Berger Coleman on, and
it's a
JBC.
good show.
Yes, the American Cancer Society is finally saying try everything else on the planet first, and when none of that works, try vaping. They're finally admitting that.
Yeah.
No, they're actually.
You heard about that dude who he like killed his family or something because he was taking Chantix or one of those fucking. Yeah, one of those crazy.
I'm going back. Let's see, about 10 years ago when Chantix first came out. There was a truck driver had a seizure and went off the road and killed a bunch of people. And
one of my buddies ended up in the hospital because that crap.
He landed on Chantix.
Yeah, one of my buddies, he ended up in the hospital because of that crap. It made him go crazy. Like he flipped out one day, like broke his TV or something, and then it scared his wife. So his wife called the cops and they took him to the hospital, and he didn't remember anything. Like when he came back, he didn't remember anything. It was. I
almost got into a fist fight at work when I was on Chantix.
Yeah. Yeah, I know my dad had
this got out of prison. He would have kicked my ass. But I didn't give a shit. I stood right up to him. I had like Rocky beer goggle muscles or some shit that day. I don't know. And the owner of the company calls me up and I pretty much
walking around voiding out.
Oh yeah, I'm just like, I'm gonna be a boy. I think I just got done watching Rocky 5 or something, you know.
Yep, and if anyone's like into reading studies and stuff or wants to know about the Farsalino study that a lot of us participated in is also been published. It is not an easy read, but if you're interested, it was published in the Harm Reduction Journal this month. The Farsalinas had U.S. scientists be the lead authors, so you're not gonna, if you Google his name, you're not gonna find it under him. But yeah, you can just read the quick little down and dirty on one of the vape blogs and get the moral of the story, which is, oh, by the way, that most people have, yeah, right, exactly. Most people use fruit and fruit beverages and desserts, and that the use of tobacco as the first time flavor for people starting vaping is down by 70 or over 50%.
Yeah.
No surprise. Where 5 years ago, if you had started to vape, your choices were limited and all you had was tobacco. But they looked at people that switched from smoking to vaping 100%, that their success was much more significant with converting to flavors. So no surprise for us, but a good study, well done, well designed. A sample of over 20,000 people. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff we need published. That's the kind of stuff that needs to get out there. Anyway,
I'm trying to find the article now so I can. Let's see. It was published. I
got it. I can put a link.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got it. I posted it in somewhere, but I can put it up.
All right. Yeah, I was just hunting it down. Socrates, why didn't you think we had a show today? We always have one every Sunday, either here or on Moped's channel if I can't make it. But now we got we made some improvements, put a little bit of money into the channel, so we should be able to be consistent every week now without issues.
No, we're trying to do Hangouts, Google Hangout. Oh, man.
There we go. Yep, there's the article. Perfect. He didn't see any posts. I will see. I spammed it in Vape Team, Fresh from the Kitchen, Fresh.
Yeah, I got all the notifications.
The ESMR DIY juice. I put it everywhere.
And I put it on Instagram, and so did Mop. Mop put it on Instagram too.
Yeah.
Earlier.
It was on DIY Down Under. It was everywhere. All right, gang. Well, let's go around the room and I'll let everybody enjoy the rest of their Sunday. And hopefully I don't lose the internet. We've got a thunderstorm. It's supposed to thunderstorm here for like next 2 weeks.
Us too. Like for the whole week, it's just storms coming up the coast.
Yeah, I think the Phillies are actually playing a doubleheader today with San Diego. Last time they did that was 1993, and the second game didn't end till 5 o'clock in the morning. Mitch Williams with an 11th inning hit in the second game of the doubleheader.
So, hey, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate your time on this Sunday afternoon. Thank you. Yep, really appreciate it. I'm sure you guys have a gazillion other things you could be doing. So we always appreciate when you come and hang out with us for a little bit. Hopefully you learned a little something. You can find me in all the flavors and ELR as MechModRN. Check out DIY Down Under and ESMR. There are 2 great Facebook groups that are worth checking out. And Freedom to Mix is another great Facebook group. DIY Down Under just started a Discord. So if you like Discord and you like the ability to kind of chat with people and interact and have audio, over the line conversations, you can do that. So yeah, thanks. I'm going to pass it off to Mr. Mop.
I'm Mophead. Go to my personal YouTube channel, Mixin with Mophead. And then I'm also on Instagram and ELR and ATF and ESMR DIY Juice. I always post in the description of my personal videos, links to everything. So I'm going to be lazy and just go to one of my videos and click on those links. Moose.
Wake up.
I'm currently dying. You can find me as Odd Drop on ATF and ELR. And it's sometimes occasionally in the lounge when my alternator is not catching on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I'm glad it all worked out. Moose,
yeah, exactly.
Man. Really glad.
Lord knows I am too. I don't want to pay for that.
Oh, yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. I know summertime is tough. Yeah, Truck and Trucker. I'm going to have to get you on one of these Sunday shows when you get the opportunity.
Yeah.
We'll have to catch up.
Yeah, we need to get a guest on again.
Yeah, well, yeah, we got some ideas. I'm not going to talk about them right now, but we got some ideas. If not in the summer, maybe in the fall. We'll see how it all goes. Summertime's slow, but we might bring somebody else in.
Are you a mixer? Do you have recipes that need to be shared? Come on down to Daytime Frank's show.
There we go. I'll put a Craigslist ad out. But everybody will say keep an eye on your states. Right now it's a little bit slow because all the politicians are hanging out at the beach and you can get in a tan and then they're out campaigning, so they're not really doing their job right now. They get the summer off, so catch a little bit of a break, but keep an eye on things. If you're not a member, go to CASA, go to Not Blowing Smoke. Your state, a lot of states have advocacy groups, so make sure you do that. Let's see. We don't know what we're doing yet next week, but we'll let you know when we do. We'll just put that in the chat with some smart ass or what? In our chat. I can't see it. What the hell?
Actually, I thought Moose's internet did pretty good today. He didn't really robot out too much.
No, dude. No. Good. No, he's going to burn your internet to the ground. Yeah, it makes sense.
All hatred from around the room. Okay. We all do not agree with my internet connection.
All right, everybody. That's enough for us. Have a good one. Educate, advocate, be good for this community, as Fresh likes to say. And as Hesh says, band together, be band together. And like Moose says, think less, mix more. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.
Bye.